Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, something a little bit more different in terms of a complete waffle fest here, because over the course of, I don't know, a couple of times a month, I like to bring out these types of videos where I passionately rant or I've just got some irks with Brawl Stars in general. Right now, it's a little bit of a slow period in terms of like YouTube content or just YouTube in general. But let's talk about the kind of overall state of Brawl Stars right now. Is it going to be trending upwards, downwards? What's really happening? What is the community consensus? Let's dive into it. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised looking at this. So the key thing that everyone seems to turn towards when we talk about Brawl Stars' health is Google Trends. I mean, it's not the biggest indicator, but it's just something that we can see as a content creator, just to help us see what it's like, because not always does it represent you know, how well it's doing on Google Trends to how it's doing in game, but it's normally a good indicator on the general hype. So what I wanted to showcase was just the kind of the peaks right now. So the peaks right here, if I move my big ass face, let's put me down a little bit here, but this is 2026, and you can see the biggest peak overall the last 5 years was actually this April. Funny enough, I don't think it peaked that well on YouTube for pretty much everyone. From looking across the board, on like views were at a decent level, but it weren't like 2024 in my opinion. 2024 was a crazy time for Brawl YouTube, so I'm a little bit unsure about that. Like, it didn't represent it fairly in YouTube views, but this is like, in terms of my overall opinion on Brawl Stars, like, we were at a really downwards trend, and it really picked up at the beginning of this year. So yeah, Brawl Stars has been on a big comeback. You can see it's been a big slope though. Right now it is at 69 lol, but it looks like the forward trajectory looks like it might go on the upwards trend again. But I just think I wanted to showcase just what happens every single summer for Brawl Stars quickly before we dive into like other things like Buffies, etc. So you can see here, you can see like April time, or just at the beginning of the year, or December, it starts to go up, and then as you see July here, starts to go down. Then you see the peak here in December, it starts to go down towards, well, July actually has a little bit of a upwards curve here, but that breaks the mold for whatever reason. But you'll see here, you see December, a little bit of an upwards. You'll see then January goes down, everyone has a slump in January, then goes back up until you can see here May, and then it starts to go down towards the summer months, and then it starts to make a big resurgence again, leading up to like December. So I just want to kind of make this video to maybe reassure other YouTubers as well, just reassure people, you know, it's just natural in the summer for things to go down. So again, you can see here it peaks in April, you can see June start, May it starts to go down, June to go down. So there's not really a time right now to panic, because Brawl Stars surely will return up. So I just wanted to make this video because I've just got a lot of thoughts that I wanted to put out there on YouTube. It's been a little while of just thoughts playing on my mind for like the past month or whatever else. As you can probably see on YouTube, you check a lot of different YouTubers. Views right now, they're very, very low. A lot of it will come down to maybe like a bit of burnout in terms of just like content ideas, in terms of what we can actually make videos on. It will probably require a lot more effort than we're maybe used to. So maybe we're a bit privileged with that. I don't know, there's been a lot of content inside of Brawl Stars, but not a lot of like fresh ideas that we can make YouTube videos about, in my opinion. I mean, we'll see. We'll see with what Brawl Stars have in store for us. So the first point I wanted to talk about was Buffies in general. So we've had a good amount of time to weigh up our opinions on Buffies, the pros, the cons. So what I will say, I think overall Buffies have been they've been a success, right? Because it's added to a big resurgence in the amount of players that are playing Brawl Stars. It gives a reason for Brawl Stars players to log in and play. Again, if you look at like, you'd think the overall majority opinion would be that Buffies, you know, too pricey, very annoying, etc. But the overall play base, one big point that I'd always go back to, I think Frank put out a tweet a couple of months ago when it was there was a big collaboration. I forgot what the collaboration was. How could I forget? But anyways, the collaboration led to the highest ever daily active users, I think, in Brawl Stars history, which is going to show that people have been loving the collaborations. People are liking the Buffies. The general public are liking and enjoying the Buffies and the progression feel with Brawl Stars. That has always been one of the biggest talking points in the community. I waffled about this on stream yesterday, and you know, there's been loads of videos, loads of people discussing, you know, the pros and cons to the progression system in Brawl Stars. Overall, I do feel like it's a little bit unfair, but at the same time, it's also a big reason as to why Brawl Stars is popular, in my opinion. I'm not defending Supercell by like how they make them progression and just how the way you play Brawl Stars and monetary, because I think a lot of people actually just play to get the feeling of maxing out their brawler, maxing out some aspects. Yes, some parts of a brawler's leveling up is too monetary, or it just takes too long and a bit unfair for free-to-play players, but people clearly enjoy the grind is what I'm trying to say, by the way, because it's very clear in the numbers. You saw when like hypercharges came out, the graphs went up. When Buffies came out, the graphs went up. So maybe the way that they introduce Buffies and hypercharges in terms of game balance, that's a whole nother conversation, which leads to my frustrations. And again, I'm not defending Buffies and hypercharges because there definitely are some key issues, but I think overall for the health of the game, it's good because it's led to a lot of people playing the game. We want a lot of people playing the game because that it's just good for us. We all love Brawl Stars here, else you wouldn't be watching this video if you enjoy playing Brawl Stars or if you enjoy the lore behind it. You know, Brawl Stars is a very old game right now. I've been playing it for 8-9 years and still to this day there's moments where I don't enjoy it and enjoy it in some other moments. I do end up getting burnt out. Again, I played this game for so long, but overall we love Brawl Stars over here. So yeah, in terms of how I think Buffies have landed for me, I'm a bit happy. So I think the main problem here is that what annoys me is that there's just so many brawlers without Buffies. So it's always so clear when Buffies first come out that these brawlers are just going to be so far ahead of the meta. Yes, I like in some aspects because you get like Surgery, Resurgent to the top of the meta. You've got 8-bit. These brawlers that are just kind of mid for a long time, they actually become some of the best brawlers in the game, which is good, which is actually healthy. Some people don't like that because they just say, oh, the new buff brawlers are just going to be the strongest. I kind of like it because it gives a bit of freshness to the meta. We don't want the same meta brawlers at the top for the whole year. That would be very boring, especially as a competitive player. I want a fresh meta pretty much every month or 2 months. Every 2 months probably good with every single update, but that is good. I think it's just a strength for them, and again, this can mainly come down to not every single brawler having a Buffy. We saw that with hypercharges. Pretty much all of the brawlers without hypercharges just got power crept as time went on. And then what quickly happened as well with some brawlers, well, if they were nerfing other aspects of the kits and not the hypercharges, eventually when every brawler got the hypercharges, they were then again left behind. So I feel like this could be the case with a lot of brawlers leading up to new Buffies. So for example, I think Bull is a great one already. Bull got so many Buffies and he was so broken. They nerfed a lot of his base kit, and now he's starting to struggle in the meta. I don't see any Bull. He's only really used to counter a few compositions and only really using, and he's not even used that much in heist. So yeah, Bull is a prime example of nerfing the base kit and not really nerfing the Buffies, because now it's just led to Bull just being pretty mediocre, and he's probably going to be mediocre for the rest of the year, I imagine. So and also another talking point about Buffies, I want to hear your guys' opinion. Are the Buffies still too hard to get? Do you enjoy that the claw machines are separated now? They said in their Time to Explain podcast some months ago now that they were including a lot more measures on how to get, you know, more extra free Buffies, whether it be through quests, whether it be through events, etc. Let me know how you guys are getting up to speed with the amount of Buffies you get with your account. I'd love to just hear how many Buffies you've probably got out of the maximum you can get. That would leave me a good feeling of how Buffies are in the game right now. Again, I'm just a little bit unsure. Not a lot of people have been talking about that for a little while. So this leads me on to my next point. I want to talk about prestiges again. So prestiges were the hot topic for a couple of months since that update. Again, another topic where I'm a bit like, I don't really see that many people enjoying prestiges. Again, this could be the minority, but at the same time, I'm looking through YouTube videos. There's the odd YouTuber that is doing like a prestige free video, but they're just not doing it nowhere nearly as good as the old mastery system would do. Again, you take a look at, there's like quite a few YouTubers that will pop off with their videos. For example, you got like Connor McDees, you've got Corey, you've got Ben Tim, you've got Wasim. There's probably a few more that I haven't mentioned that would really grind out this the mastery system to get the title. And, you know, these videos will get 1 million, 2 million views. And prestige freeze, I mean, there's been a few videos that I've seen pop off, but nowhere near to the level of masteries. The hype just doesn't seem all too much there for prestige freeze. And that's probably for a few reasons. I think the biggest problem with them, again, I went through this in my video like a month ago from the comment section, is that once you get from Prestige 2 to Prestige 3, it just seems kind of impossible for most people, mainly with like randoms, or not even that. It just seems like it's too long of a process for what you get, and seems it's like a roadblock for most people. We just get to Prestige 2 and they're like, what do I really do now? And then for the people that like to grind, it also takes probably too much. I think the reason why I haven't even got Prestige 3 yet is for a few reasons for me. Is just the time and effort it takes to get Prestige 3, but then it doesn't feel like I get much of a reward, in the sense like if I was to upload a video of me again in Prestige 3, I don't actually think the hype is there. Not that many people would realistically care. That's for a few reasons. I think one big reason is because the release of Prestige 3s were very bug ridden. That seems to be kind of the biggest annoyance in the community right now. We've spoke about it a few times for like the dev tier, etc. And you know, one big reason, and especially Adrian coming onto my channel saying the reason why there's a lot more bugs is because there's a lot of like older systems that they're trying to, I think, replace. I think that was what he said, right? Where that leads to they kind of have to build from the ground up again, is probably my presumption. So they're going to run into like a lot of these bugs whilst they try and get their systems running a lot smoother and a lot more up to date, which is a good reason as to why there's a lot of bugs. But it's more so kind of like just how many bugs there are when you're playing the game, where you're like, what is this a bug? Is this actually intended? Was this a secret balance change? There's quite a few of them, and the list just seems to go on every single update or every single balance change. But the reason why I was saying that, there's a lot of like exploits and a lot of bugs with Prestige 3s, even still some to this day, which really tainted Prestige 3s in my opinion, and is a big reason why they didn't pop off on YouTube. Because for me, I would have done Prestige 3 grinds absolutely if in the first 1 week or two there was like this really big, there's a couple of exploits with like bot matches that, you know, that since has been fixed, but that just meant like these absolute randoms are getting Prestige 3, which in the old rank 35 system in the older systems, some randoms could get these, but you would still appreciate they had to grind, and they actually had to be at a decent enough level to get it. Ladder isn't the most serious game mode, but it was just, and I mean randoms were getting Prestige 3s. You also had people that had newer accounts, which were definitely favoured in matchmaking, so they could get easier Prestige 3s. It just left me with a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, because I was grinding. I was getting a lot of Prestige 2s. Like I was playing a lot of Brawl Stars, and I was getting them at a decent level, so I knew after like a week or so, 2 weeks maybe, I think I'll push for like a week and a half. I was going to wait till the 2 week mark and then be like, okay, so now matchmaking times must have improved a bit. I'm going to start pushing my Prestige 3 brawlers now, but after so many exploits, it just left me so incredibly unmotivated, which is sad really, because I was so hyped for Prestige 3s, and I think the system that they introduced was very, very good. There's a few obviously things they need to improve, and I hope they improve sooner rather than later, but it just led to, I don't know, if a launch of a product, whether it be in the real world or inside of Brawl Stars, if, you know, there's like a small, I don't know, glitch or just something that was overlooked, it can overrule pretty much everything. Like, again, it's not saying that Prestige 3s are a complete not a failure, it's just they could have landed so much better, and I really thought they've really tried as well, by the way. They tried to, you know, implement things for the creators, and I was so hyped, but sadly kind of missed the mark a little bit. Hopefully some improvements and we can go again with Prestiges. But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to waffle about, because I'm a little bit sad. I was really anticipating this whole year being like a good grind. Maybe I'm a little bit wrong here. Maybe you guys can let me know whether you'd like to see more Prestige grinds, and we can give it a fair shot. But anyways, moving on to the next point. Again, we've kind of gone through it. It's just like YouTube's just generally slower in the summer, and it's hard as a YouTuber when you see the numbers go down and you see, you know, stream numbers go down. You've got to realize that a lot of people do have a life, and especially as people start to split up for school, summer vacation, you know, people touch grass, they go on holiday, they enjoy their time away from school, work, whatever. That's fair enough, right? I mean, I think in my childhood, a lot of my time spent in the summer was, well, a lot of it was spent playing football, but also just playing like GTA or Call of Duty till 5 AM in the morning. So I was a little bit surprised by just how down views are on YouTube, but hey, that is just a seasonal trend that I just kind of got to get, I just got to get over. 1 month in July is just going to be a downward spiral, but hey, it rebounds pretty much every year, so I just got to remember that and stay positive. Again, this is just my general feelings. It's hard some days to like be realistic and think about, like, it's not just me, it is just what happens. It does get me down sometimes, but hey, I had a nice vacation. I could just say, okay, right, in August we know things are gonna be better, time to up the content, time to up the motivation. For now, it's just kind of plain sailing. We wait for people to come back and then we hit the ground running. So hopefully we can go on from then. And I think going into what I want to see with Brawl Stars, there's a couple of things that I want to see. So moving on to the next update, which should be around a month's time, when people start coming back from vacation, when Supercell start coming back from vacation, I want to see some fire content. So the number one thing I absolutely want, and we need, I've been saying it for months, what they should have done in the past few updates is just give some quality of life features for ranked. That's all they needed to do to keep the competitive players happy and keep, you know, 99% of players, they need like these flashy events to keep them interested. But there is a hardcore player base on YouTube that needs to be fulfilled to give us a reason to grind. And rank's just been left untouched for a little while now. I think it's been like over a year. Again, it's just easy features that we spoke about time and time again. You know, UI changes, their pick and ban system needs to be a bit cleaner and a bit more intuitive. Because even myself, especially after watching Bedlam's video on it, I realized I end up switching off. Even in streams, I switch off during the draft and ban stage, which just goes to show, I can't imagine how it is for a lot of people. Like, I know I'm streaming and reading chat, but I just end up switching off. It's just a very boring process, and you spend more time sometimes in the ranked draft screen than actually playing the game. So I'm hoping they're cooking something up. I don't know what they can do in this regard. Again, like, there's a few features that Bedlam spoke about in that video. I was even thinking, like, make ranked, I know it's a mobile game, but make ranked games a little bit longer. Make it like the same players in the lobby. I don't know whether people would like that, but the same players in the lobby, like a bit of a longer game, a bit of a longer series. I don't know. I want to spend more time playing the game than drafting, essentially, is what I'm saying here. But there's a lot of improvements they can make. You know, you've got matchmaking, you've got the maps in the game, matching BSC maps. That is a big one they need to be focusing on. But there's the thing is, ranked is still so popular. You take a look at a lot of ranked YouTubers, you take a lot of streams, the views are still there, and people are still longing for ranked content. So I feel like we need a little bit more substance to ranked, in my opinion, because we've got the ranked pro pass. To me, I think the pro pass was a great idea. I've got the feeling that I don't think Brawl Stars think it's the biggest success in the world. I mean, the pro pass is still good value because you get a lot of gems through the pass, and then you get a good skin every 4 months. But I still think there's probably room for improvement there. I imagine they're probably going to make some big tweaks to that in the next ranked update. And then you've got like rank drops that need improving. You've still got a lot of like people that dodge in ranked. You've got people that troll in ranked. You've got the hacker situation. So there's a lot of improvements that Brawl Stars can easily make, in my opinion. Like, these changes shouldn't require too much effort, but they just need to be finely polished. And yeah, it would make ranks so much more enjoyable. So that is just my big waffle session, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I just wanted to give you like, I don't know, Brawl Stars update, just a general feeling. The feeling right now is a bit like meh. I'm just trying to keep positive. It's like, yeah, there's some good content in the game right now in terms of, you know, playing daily. You know, it's not in the worst state right now. You know, it's not the end of the world. I mean, towards the end of 2025, I honestly was a bit concerned. It started to reach, I can go looking at the graph on my other screen here. It started to reach the levels of like 2022. It started to go really downhill, and then a big resurgence came, which I'm really happy about. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can continue the good momentum going on to great events at the end of the year. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys next time.